Hello YouTube, it's 3:46 p.m. Wednesday, October 6, 2021. Sorry for the vertical video, but I got a couple of packages here in my hands, and it's just really hard to carry packages and shoot, carry anything and shoot horizontal video. So, welcome, whatever reason, they just don't have an app, at least not one that I'm aware of, that will shoot video in a proper aspect ratio orientation while holding a phone in a way that is designed to be held. I don't know why something so obvious doesn't exist, but it does. So this is what we got. Wow, somebody else walking in Scottsdale. Ain't that something? Okay, she looks fit. Guess that's what happens when you spend time walking in Scottsdale. So yeah, I'm walking across North Scottsdale right now. I don't know. Today has been, typical day since my car broke down. Trying to figure out how I'm gonna do the things I need to do without a car. And first thing I needed to do was go to the bank, which I did. I walked to the post office, it's hard to keep my thoughts straight together lately. And I think that's because I'm thirsty and I'm hungry, and yeah, way to walk in front of the crosswalk, asshole. I hate these types of, so they've got to where the curb, and then there's the thing where you go low on the curb, but it's recessed, so you can't really cross that way because it's recessed to the point that people block it with their cars. So yeah, I'm absolutely convinced these things are just designed by people who don't use them, and that's kind of a problem. Like, seriously, sidewalks should be designed by people who walk, and roads should be designed by people that drive. Bike routes should be designed by people who ride bikes and scooters, and bus routes should be and schedules should be designed by people who actually ride buses. And I think if you actually put the people that use the things in charge of creating them and designing them, I think they'd be considerably improved. But anyway, I digress. So so I walked to the bus stop. It's kind of warm today, and I'm just not feeling so great. So okay, I'm going to attempt to use this dysfunctional sidewalk. Here we go. So you got to go over here to get to the ramp. This one at least has a line telling people that they should stop behind that. But I assure you, I could sit there in video, and I bet the next 5 out of the 5 people that come to that stop sign do not stop at the line. Bet any amount of money on it. But I get better things to do than sit and video that, so on we go. So I walked up to the bus stop, which puts me a half mile away from the bank. And to be honest, I walk to that bank most of the time, but I was just feeling kind of tired, so I figured I'd take the bus the half mile up 44th Street to the bank. And that was, I got up there. There were a couple of homeless people squatting behind the bus stop. I mean, they were waiting for the bus, but I mean, one of them had carrying a bunch of shit with them. One of them had a sign, like a panhandler sign saying I'm homeless, blah blah blah. So anyway, those are the people in your neighborhood. So I tried to use the NextRide thing, and for some reason I can't do the text message feature of NextRide from my Obama phone. So it's not a normal phone number. It's like you send a text to a 5-digit number, and my guess is that number doesn't work with Assurance Wireless because it's government phone, which is really fucked up because it's a government NextRide service. So it should work, and that begs the question: why isn't that number that service tied to a real 7-digit phone number, starting with 602, since it's a Phoenix service? So I don't know that I'll ever get the answer to that question, but I'd sure like to know. So anyway, I've tried it, and I used to use the text thing on my iPhone when it was with Cricket all the time. Didn't always like the responses I got, but it worked. But yeah, it absolutely just doesn't. It doesn't. I don't even have an error. I just get no answer whatsoever when I do it with the Obama phone. So, of course, it could be a problem with the phone. Like I said, it's still some people. It's showing my proper ported phone number, and then for some people it's showing the phone number that I received the phone with, which I never used. I don't understand why that's happening, but I pretty much come to the conclusion that Assurance Wireless customer service isn't very helpful. Hey, look, more people walking. That's something. Yeah, so I'm doing all this walking because I misread. I misread the map. I looked at Google Maps. I was looking at post offices, trying to figure, hey, is there I need to get myself up to the Union Jack. Is there a post office that is maybe on the way where I can stop off the bus, handle my postal stuff, and then get on my next bus? And I thought I saw one that was, but I misread the map by, I'm going to say, over a mile, so I'm paying the price on foot. And I'm in a part of North Scottsdale where there's almost no public transit to speak of. And the one route that runs through here, which I believe is the 170, it takes a really haphazard route through this area. It doesn't just go down a single road, so it's very confusing. I think this is the street I need to turn left on. Anyway, yeah, I thought the post office was like right off the corner where the second, because the bus stop the other day, and I vlogged it, I took the bus to, exactly a week ago, I took the bus, no, it wasn't a week ago, it was a week and a day ago. Not yesterday, but the Tuesday night before, I took the bus to, with that heavy-ass case on my shoulder and the wire that was cutting into my shoulder, I took the bus to the Union Jack, and it was really functional, and I figured out where to get off the bus, and then I walked from there, and that kind of confused me at the time, because it seemed to me like the logical route for the bus to go would be straight across on Frank Lloyd Wright until, like, I don't know, the end of Frank Lloyd Wright. You know, it ends down on Shea, but that's not where the route goes. It turns right on Hayden. Not the Hayden, there's two Haydens that cross Frank Lloyd Wright, and it's confusing. Not the Hayden that turns into Greenway Hayden Loop, but the Hayden that's misaligned on the other side of the runway, on the east side of the runway that goes southbound. It turns right there, and you need to get off the bus a little ways before the intersection. But fortunately, I Googled where the bus stops were and got off there. Anyway, I could have sworn I when I checked in that after the roundabout, the bus turned left, and then there was a bus stop on the right, which it did, and there was. And for some reason, when I was looking at Google Maps to see where the post office was, that's where I was thinking it was. But that's not where it is. It's on the other side of Raintree. And when you're driving, Frank Lloyd Wright and Raintree seem really close together. When you're walking and it's hot out, it's quite the walk. At least I'm walking better than this guy. He seems to really be struggling with this walk. Yikes. So I'm walking southbound on 82nd Street. Now, on the street I was walking down on before I turned left onto this one was Hayden. Hayden runs at a kind of an oddball angle through this part of town because of the location of the Scottsdale Airport runway. So anyway, sorry if I'm hard to follow today. My thoughts are pretty jumbled, and I'm really thirsty, and there hasn't been a convenient place to stop and get a drink so far. Anyway, yeah, God, I probably need to take care of that because I'm getting cotton mouth from being dehydrated. Anyway, so yeah, I tried to use NuxRide. It's the second time I've tried to use NuxRide at that location. I don't know who did the voice automation for Valley Metro, but it's absolutely the worst I've ever experienced. Like the sign says, dial the number, say NextDrive, then say the number, and it'll say when it is. But the thing is, when it answers and it starts talking, it's not listening. It's just talking, and you have to go through a long recording before you finally get to a beep and are allowed to talk and interact with it. And every time I get to that and I say next ride, it does successfully get me to the next ride thing, and it asks me to say the number. But I think the thing they're not considering with this whole voice interacted stuff is that when you're not in a car and don't have the cabin of your car to keep you in a quiet, isolated space, and instead you're at a bus stop which is next to a road which has 3 lanes of traffic going in each direction and turn lanes, and you're near an intersection where there's other traffic going in the opposite direction, which describes most bus stops in the Phoenix area. There is so much traffic noise that automation can't make out what you're saying. So but it keeps trying. It's like, well, I can't understand you. Try the touchtones. And then comes a problem that I get that's caused by the Obama phone. So the Obama phone is just insanely laggy with everything. I mean, literally everything, including when you're talking on the phone. Of course, it just changed as I got to it. When you're talking on the phone and automation says, hey, touch tone this. So I literally have to like shake the phone to get the screen, because the screen goes dark most of the time. And I have to shake the phone to try to get the screen to come back up. And then it takes a while for that to happen. And then when it finally comes up, then I hit the button to make the touchstones appear, and then there's some more lag while it draws it. And apparently that lag is so long that the automated system from the automated stuff on Valley Metro, it interprets it as you not responding quick enough, and then it goes to some other issue. Anyway, after me going a couple of circles with the automation and it not being able to understand me and not being able to cope with the lag that I have, but me having to deal with the lag it has, it finally goes to, it finally gets me through to a person. Now, to be fair, the person was very helpful. I mean, she understood me just fine, told me what time the bus would be arriving. What I didn't like is she didn't say how long it would be until it would be arriving. Because when I'm talking on the phone with her, I can't see the clock on my phone to know what time it is. So when she says the time, I don't know how long that time is from the time it is. And then, of course, by the time I get to the screen, because I do have a kind of a disability that revolves around short-term memory, when I get back to the screen where I could see the time, it's it's very difficult for me to remember the time that she told me, and it would be so much more helpful if she just said, oh, the bus will be there in 12 minutes or 24 minutes or an hour and 15 minutes or just however long it's going to be. I don't understand when they say next ride why they don't say it will be at X time in blank minutes, a complete answer. Anyway, I didn't bother asking her how long it was going to be till then, because I found when you ask people for additional information that work in positions like that, it pops their brains and they struggle, and they can't deal with it either, because they have a script that they follow and they just seem incapable of deviating from that script. Okay, I think the post office is at this next street. Oh, I can see it. Nice. It's over there. So anyway, yeah, I'm just struggling dealing with reality every day. Doing my best to cope with it and not let it get me down. So yeah, I basically just repeated the time, just kept saying. So I find if I say something and repeat it, 447, that I can remember things that way. It makes it hard for me to remember what it is I'm trying to do, but at least I can remember the number I'm trying to remember. So I just basically said thank you, and repeated the time, and on the phone, and I had to hit a few buttons to get it to show me what time it was again, and basically it came to the conclusion that it was going to be about 25 minutes until the bus showed up, and I knew I could walk to the bank quicker than that, so I walked to the bank. No problem at the bank. In fact, I was able to do what I needed at the bank using the inside ATM. I mean, theoretically, I could have used the outside ATM, but there's no shade at it, and the sun was just, it's hot today. I don't know what the temperature is, but it's not like summer in Phoenix hot, but it's hot, and the sun is a big ball of fire, and there's no relief from it. It's just, yeah, a ball of fire and hot, and so I just didn't really feel up to using the outside ATM. Also, when the sun is this shiny, sometimes it's really hard to see the screen at the outside ATM because it just reflects the sun so bright it's hard to see what the ATM says when they don't build shade around it. So I much prefer the ATMs that are located inside the vestibules, you know, where you go inside the door, but the first door, but not to the second door to go in the bank. And I can't remember if that bank has one there or not. I was initially going to go talk to a teller, but there was a line for the tellers. And then I noticed near the tellers, they had an inside ATM. So I used that. Got my check deposited, got a paper showing my balance. I'm good to go there. And I got out and I was thinking about taking I usually always go to the post office down on Washington Street, but I was thinking about how that was kind of out of the way and I was kind of tight on time and I'm without transportation, blah, 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 and how long of a trip it is to get up here to North Scottsdale. So I'm at the post office. I'm sorry, I was really going to explain this, but I'm out of breath.